Hey guys, Combat Initiation got its long-awaited Stage 4 update and got itself some new enemies, so I'll talk about what they do and how to counter them. I won't talk about the final boss in this video because you can't really access him in the sandbox, and that boss deserves its own little video, so let's stop dilly-dallying and get into the video. By the way, for these demonstrations I will be using the most common weapons such as sword and slingshot. Firemen, aka the street cleaners, kind of just run at you and do an unparryable flamethrower attack that does a lot of constant damage. If you somehow kill them from behind or hit their tank, it will instantly kill them as well as release a huge explosion, dealing huge damage to everything around it, including you. Some tips to kill the fireman is to just keep your distance and keep firing at him if you have a ranged weapon. With sword, circle around him and dash periodically to reduce damage as well as the chance to somehow hit his tank with the sword. Beacons, aka the virtues, will connect themselves onto enemies, giving them buffs as well as shoot beams of light onto you. I don't know how the virtue system works, but if there are little to no enemies near the beacon, it will turn into a blue variant where it acts like the idol from Ultrakill, making the enemy invincible. Some other things to know about it is that the beacons will deactivate if all of its targets are dead, or there are no enemies for it to latch to, or the enemies are not that close to it. Also, upon death, it will summon a shockwave, so don't get too close. It doesn't do damage though, so you'll be fine. There aren't really tips to fighting this thing, but if you get the beacon to kill its targets, it will enrage, making it unable to deactivate, and latch itself onto any nearby enemies, as well as the beam of light being able to predict your movement. Other than that, you can pretty much kill this thing however you want, just prioritize them more than any other enemy, so that they don't buff and kill you instantly. The wizard, aka the Mind Flayer, kind of just flies around you and does funny magic. His first attack is where it summons a circle of lightning balls that home onto you. You can easily dodge these attacks by having a high move speed while being on the ground, or by dashing or return the sender. The next attack is a very low reaction lightning attack. You can dodge these most of the time, unintentionally by just walking or dashing. The last attack is a giant homing lightning beam that does a lot of damage. I would suggest to just run away from it, as well as a wild time dash, or any type of momentum with jet boots or other items. Upon death, it will explode after a little bit, so keep an eye on that after the wizard dies. Some things to know about the wizard is that it has a circle around it that serves as a health bar, so yeah, free health bar, so that's pretty nice. Also, when it dies, the explosion is telegraphed by, once again, a circle going into the center, so also keep an eye out for that. To kill the wizard itself, if you have a sword, you can just parry the living hell out of it, or meleeing him. My preferred method is just camp him out with ranged weapons, specifically the scattergun, because this thing's really good. The last enemy is the king. The king is a very difficult enemy to fight. It doesn't have a second phase, but a variety of attacks. If he pulls a sword up, that means he'll either do a double slash, a leap in the air, and do a shockwave, or a jab into a stomp that has a damaging shockwave. You can force the king to use a jab or stomp by being at longer ranges. Also, if you are really close to him, he'll do a quick jab on you, so yeah, don't do that, and yeah, just don't get near him. It's a very scary attack. If you are using a ranged weapon, it'll make the king start doing other attacks. One attack is where the king will have a yellow flash on him, making him shoot parryable fireballs that, on hit, will do a lot of damage as well as stun the king. So use that to your advantage. He also does this geyser attack that is pretty hard to dodge. This attack is a part of the raising up his sword thing, so you can read it. Anyways, his last attack is where he can do a forward snipe, a side swipe, a upward swipe with his mace. All these attacks are telegraphed with a red glare, and all these attacks can be parried, and, if hit towards the king, will damage and stun him like the fireballs. How would you fight him is, I would always have a sword or a long range weapon on me, bait him out to using his long range attacks as well as parry them, and just keep my distance. That's the easiest way you can fight him in my opinion. His melee attacks are just really hard to dodge and stuff. And that's all of the stage 4 enemies, besides the stage 4 final boss. I'll have it ready for his own video in a couple days time. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you fellers next time. Goodbye!